Say a client wants us to deploy a hidden camera in their room so they can catch their spouse bringing a lover back home. So we have to check. We have to check a few things. We have to check if the client has legal rights to the room, whether there are other people who will enter the room as well, and whether there are other solutions that can be used instead. So we'll consider all the different possibilities before we agree to what the client wants us to do, or we come up with an alternative.
I didn't know like even a simple thing like CCTV footage we normally see in movies that I would like to produce evidence number 2230. Your Honor,
they take out their own camera.
What's up, and welcome to the KopiBros show presented by the Chit Chatter Podcast Network. Now, today, we had the very fun experience of talking to Yong Yi, who is the Managing Director and Partner at Ranger Investigation and Security Services. Chat with him was about his private investigation services.
It's not exactly what you see on TV. Like actually, they don't have a lot of rights. Like you can't barge into a hotel room.
Correct.
You can't anyhow put cameras everywhere. Because then you start to realize, because we are in Singapore, you cannot anyhow do things. If not, in the end, you are the one that is breaking the law. So come even more creative, and it's really very cool. Like there's a story that he shared, a very cool way and creative way.
How he trapped the client. Wow.
How he trapped the target. That was very good.
Okay, so without further ado, before we get into our episode, a word from our sponsor.
And we're going to take a quick break in the podcast to thank our friends at CityMusic, one of Singapore's true pioneer in the music space. CityMusic has long been known as a go-to destination for musical instruments, but they've also been making big headway in audio and video equipment, especially for creators and podcasters. From guitars and pianos to audio interfaces, microphones, and even video recording equipment, CityMusic is true one-stop shop for everything music and content creation related, with options for every budget.
In fact, the audio you're hearing right now is recorded using the Zoom ZD-M1 mic, an amazing broadcast-style microphone that delivers professional quality sound on par with other big-name podcast mics, but at nearly half the price. It's proof that you don't have to overspend to sound great. A huge thank you to our friends at CityMusic, not just for this awesome giveaway, but for being a pioneer in the music space and for making sure creators, musicians, and podcasters always have the right equipment for whatever budget and setup they want. CityMusic, powering your sound, your music, and your content.
And now, back to our episode. Now, today, our guest is the Managing Director and Partner at Ranger Investigation and Security Services, where he works as a private investigator, security officer, and security consultant. He is an ACTA certified trainer, a certified security consultant, and a certified fraud examiner, indicating formal qualifications in investigations, fraud examination, and security management. To find out more about his experiences, please join me in welcoming Yong Yi. Hello, Yong Yi.
Hello.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be on the podcast. What have you been busy with?
Usually I spend my time in investigations, but also security work also keeps me busy.
So when you say security work, is like how do you say, like providing bodyguard services, this kind of thing, is it?
Providing security officers, security technology as part of a total security solution for our clients. Yeah, that's what we do.
I see. When you talk about security officers, like, do you mean like security guards at the condo kind, or like really like they got high profile clients you need to be like can fight this kind one?
Actually, we do both. But more often is the security officers at the industrial estates, commercial, residential buildings.
Could you share more about like Ranger Investigations and Security Services and the different services that they provide?
We have two core business, which is security solutions, including security manpower, security technology, as well as remote services to protect and secure the sites of our clients. And the second business that we have is the private investigation, where we serve MNCs, SMEs, as well as individuals, variety of investigations.
So we normally start the podcast interview by learning about the origins of our guests. We would like to take it all the way back to both of your journeys. So could you actually share with our viewers your growing up story and how you actually got into this industry?
Growing up, I was trained as an engineer and I worked in the chemicals industry for more than 10 years. Wow. Then about 13, 14 years back, I was asked to join my family business in the security industry, and that's how I got here.
Okay. So actually, when you say family business, means you were all along exposed to this industry since young.
Somewhat, yes. So when I was a teenager, I remember even before I started university, I was going on site with my dad.
Can you help me clarify, right? What kind of professional qualifications, right, do you need to actually enter like the industry or both of the industry?
If you are referring to the private investigation industry, so in Singapore, one of the first things you need to do would be to get licensed by the police. The police will do a security check on the applicant. They will issue a paper license to you if you pass the security check. But with a paper license, you cannot work as a PI yet. There's another requirement, which is you will need to be trained in how to perform investigation activities within the legal framework. And this is actually a course that is offered under the WSQ framework in Singapore. And after only after you are competent in the course, then you can start working as a private investigator.
It's very different from what I see in movies where they seem to say all the PI like, how to say, like nothing better to do one, then they go do PI work, then they like,
they just
copy.
You just follow people, then you just take some photos. Sometimes with your phone. But I guess if I
to a certain extent that is true, because we do certain kind of work. We need your auntie, uncle there's a unseeming on the street to be able to carry out certain tasks.
Was there any like in-house training that you had to go through as well?
Well, when I first started, there was nobody to specifically train me. I did a lot of self-training, which is research, and try to come up with a robust way to carry out the investigation. And then along the way, you meet people and you learn from them as well. I also attend certain courses, increase my knowledge on investigations.
Was there any point of time that you thought like, okay, yes, I want to do this long term, or like, maybe I want to go back to engineering? You know, was there any point of time that you actually have this kind of thoughts?
There was no particular aha moment, but after doing investigations for a while, I did realize that I grew to love it. I grew to enjoy helping people solve mysteries, help them out of their predicaments.
I think you reviewed in a previous interview that thought about this for a very long time before you say, okay, I'll come and join the family business. So what were some of your thoughts and why do you decide that, I want to help the family business?
It's a request for my family. So at least for me, I don't think it's appropriate to just say no, right? Since working outside is a challenge, helping the family business can also be a challenge. So I decided, whichever way is a challenge, so let's give it a shot, right? So that's what I did.
So we would like to now move on to talk about the PI work. I think many of us have many ideas of PI work, like from movies or series, but what does a PI actually do?
Well, basically, we help our clients with their requests. There are certain things that, a person will encounter in life, and then they do not know how to get around it, do not know how to overcome it. So if it falls within what I can do, that's what we will do to help them. We'll help them to find out what's really going on. Sometimes they cannot. It's not convenient for them to do it themselves because if they try to investigate, they may be recognized, right? So usually it's easier to have somebody who is not involved in the situation to actually carry out the investigation.
Who would you say is your main clientele? Because I think you mentioned before that you work with a few organizations and corporate bodies, right? And then, like you say just now, I think some of your clients are also private clients. So what are your main clientele?
Half of my clients are individuals. The other half are law firms, business owners, or senior executives of companies.
Oh, okay. When they ask you to investigate, is it because they suspect, like, for example, there might be fraud, or they suspect like some mishappenings, then they want you to confirm it for them or gather evidence? Is that the case?
It's all that you mentioned. Yeah. It can be something that they are suspecting as, like, for example, a wrongdoing within the company. Somebody else from outside the company is doing to the company. Things like this, we can help them find out.
I saw from the ads that your company ran that actually a big part of PI work is like catching adultery or uncovering the truth. Is that the majority of your work, like catching adultery, or like what other work does PI have to do?
Half of my cases are matrimonial related cases. That means marriage, cheating in a marriage, or child custody related. And the other half will be evidence collection for commercial entities such as law firms and business owners. Some of this work translate into specifically like background checks, safety monitoring of certain individuals. such as key appointment holders. Sometimes it's moonlighting employees, unauthorized distribution of products, mystery shopping for services or service quality. Or counterfeit goods and many others.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that some of these services that I thought like, oh, this one is like some marketing company do one. Actually, it's also part of PI work.
Yeah.
Yes, we do that for some of our clients.
So what would you say are some of the important qualities that a PI should have?
More than 10 years working as a PI, I feel that a PI should be analytical, have initiative, lots of patience, and a willingness to learn new things, of course. Have to be resourceful, unrelentless desire to outsmart the situation. I think these are two of the things we can come up with. No?
I think it just dawned upon me that a lot of PI work is, how do you say, it's not like something that you can ask advice for. I think sometimes when we do work, right, we tend to have a senior and say that, oh, we can ask a senior for advice, or like, I meet this business decision I need to make. Who can I consult for advice? But I think some of your cases are so real or so bizarre that sometimes you also have to think about how do I come up with creative solutions, or how do I reach out to somebody for help, right?
Is that what you say is definitely right? We have to think out of the box. We have to try to outsmart the situation. We actually will consult lawyers just to make sure that we are within the law.
I think we will touch a bit more about that in a few questions time about the ethics of the investigation. What are some of the common misconceptions that people have about PI, that what they can do or what they cannot legally do?
I think one of the most common misconception that people have about PIs is that we can do anything we want, or that we have special powers to access all sorts of information. For example, for an investigation into cheating in a marriage, right? Some clients think that we can just barge into a hotel room to collect direct evidence of adultery. Most or almost all of our cases, we collect indirect or circumstantial evidence instead. We are not like the police who have a lot of resources. We have to depend on ourselves to uncover clues or other information that can help us solve the case.
Have you ever had a case, right, in this case, where one party thought the other was cheating, then they engaged you, but actually the truth revealed otherwise?
Surely, yes. There are many situations where a spouse would suspect the other of cheating, to find out that it is not true after we have done some observation for them. And there are several times where we find out that it's simply a case of the spouse not wanting to go home to an angry partner, or some other reason that is not so serious.
Okay.
Now, what about the other case? Like, conversely, have you ever had a case, right? Party seemed like it was perfect, but upon investigation, right, the truth revealed otherwise?
I would say yes to this also. There are cases where my clients suspect something, but then they are gaslighted by their partner because of lack of evidence, or like you say, the partner appears perfect in the way he or she behaves. Many clients whose spouses lead a totally different life when they are not around my client.
Okay.
Like, for example, in these kind of cases, right, where the partner appears perfect, right, then the partner usually won't be the one that hires a PI. It will be someone else, is it? Or like their parents or their friend, or...
There are also situations where they are seen by someone, and that someone tells my client, and then they decide, let me look into that.
No choice.
Just to confirm, right?
Okay.
So
that's true also.
That's possible as well.
How do you personally draw the line, right, between what is legal, what is ethical, and what is off limit, even if a client is willing to pay?
So that's a very good question. We often face this situation where we must assess circumstances around the client's request to see if it's legal, to see if it's ethical, and sometimes even whether it's moral or not, and reject the case if any of these limits are crossed. For example, say a client wants us to deploy a hidden camera in their room so they can catch their spouse bringing a lover back home. So we have to check. We have to check a few things. We have to check if the client has legal rights to the room, whether there are other people who will enter the room as well, and whether there are other solutions that can be used instead. So we'll consider all the different possibilities before we agree to what the client wants us to do, or we come up with an alternative.
I didn't know, like, even a simple thing like CCTV footage we normally see in movies that I would like to produce evidence number 2230.
300,
Order,
yeah.
this
Then
is
they
is
take
proof
out their own camera.
Under very strict circumstances and such things be done. It's not just as you like,
Does this actually change the way you see relationship, trust, or even your own personal life?
Or like I say, more than 10 years in doing this kind of work and having seen more than few thousands of cheating cases, right? I get used to seeing this kind of thing. And many times my team and I, we feel sad to see or when we hear about the hurt that those being cheated have to go through. That's also why we love what we do. We get to help people out of a very bad situation by finding out what's really going on.
Is it really like what we see in the movie sometimes in drama? So sometimes we don't know whether is it very over dramatized with that they are really getting betrayed or like their company is really this person is like laundering money. Does it get as drama or emotional?
Yes, because everybody goes through an emotional roller coaster every time this kind of thing happens. But I would say the drama of, let's say, confrontation is only sometimes. We do not see much confrontation because mainly as private investigators, we do the investigations and evidence collection only, and we usually are not involved in what happens after.
Your job is just to like gather what the client wants to know and then present to them, and then it's end of the story. You all don't really partake in like suddenly the two of them are in the same office, then you have to like in the middle they have to 谈判 or what.
No, we don't do that. In Singapore, private investigators don't provide such a service. I actually draw a line between the client and us so that so as a PI, we can still remain rational for the client. We can stick to the objectives. We can remain clear-headed to help our clients think of better alternative solutions and not be clouded by the emotions. I will always advise our juniors to be like me, draw a line between the client and us. We try to help our client, but if we join them in the emotional roller coaster, we won't be able to be rational anymore. We will just be with them with all the emotions up and down and so on. So our fresh PIs, usually I will tell them, we have to draw the line.
Can you share with us like one or two like complex case that captures the complexity of your work and what makes it so challenging and so complex?
I will share just one case. Okay, a case that took us almost a month to get evidence. So we have this client who noticed her husband had changed in behavior for about 2-3 months already. It was the typical sudden obsession with the mobile phone, kept it by his side everywhere he went, changed the passcode, called softly out of earshot. When going to the bathroom or sleeping, he would keep the phone with him. So our client suspected a third party. But her husband was a salesperson who frequently moved around during work hours. After 3 days of following him around with no findings, my client started to lose heart. So we went back to the drawing board again and came out with a new idea. What we did is we created an opportunity for the husband to win a lucky draw of 2 free air tickets to Bangkok. Of course, that was the key challenge, but I cannot go into details how we managed to organize that. When the husband received news of his winning, he did not immediately inform my client. Instead, he told her that a few days later, he had to go on a work trip to Thailand. So we were waiting for him on the plane on the day he left. As it turned out, we found him with a female companion that the client had never met before. And no prizes for guessing what happened after that.
This is, Hey, this is interesting. Like, wow, this kind of trap, like, quite unheard of. Like this one, I don't normally see in movies, like using this kind of lucky draw trap, which is quite believable. Like, even I as a person, if today you tell me I win like free trip to where, I think it's more believable than saying that, now Nigerian prince come and, try to give me $10,000 or $100,000 kind of thing. Yeah. Particularly for this idea, right? Do you get inspiration from separate PI investigation like overseas? You borrowed from that, or was it something like you all discuss and you say, we should try this? I
guess it's a mixture of all, because normally when we try to come out with crazy ideas to solve a case, we will take reference from everywhere that we can. Sometimes we run our ideas, we look at some other examples, it may give us some inspiration for a solution that we can come up with.
What are some of the general steps that you all always take when, let's say, a client today come to you all and say, I need you all to help me do some PI work? So what is the first step all the way to like you hand over the evidence to the client?
I'll say the first step is for me to meet with the client to understand the situation and to see if it's something that I can do for them. I can actually help them with. If it's a yes, I will propose what I want to do for them. And if they agree, then they hire us. And after we are done with the evidence or the investigation and then evidence collection, generate deliverables, which is a video compilation typically, depending on what kind of case it is. But typically, if it's the surveillance, it will be a video compilation of the observations.
Besides like investigating this kind of adultery, right? What are some of the other cases that you actually enjoy investigating?
Okay, that's a very good question. I actually enjoy open source investigations, which is mostly done behind the computer using a variety of sources to find information. We have solved many cases this way, and it continues to excite us when we find new ways to find open source information.
That's a bit like the computer hackers we see in the movies, right? You have to like go this way, don't know what, then do programming, some special thing.
No, we actually don't do hacking. First of all, it's not legal, and open source means information that is publicly available, but it may not be easily available, but it's publicly available. So we will use our ways and methods to find such information.
Singapore, they're now very strict with like PDPA and privacy. So what are some of the steps the company takes, right, to ensure that the client's privacy is kept?
For each case, we keep the information on a need-to-know basis. Those people on my team who work on the particular case are privy to the information. The PIs or staff will not get to know about the case at all.
Wow.
So, and furthermore, PIs do not usually get to know who is the client. That means the investigators themselves, they usually do not get to know who is the client. They only get to know who the target is, who they are investigating.
That's so interesting.
That's interesting.
So that's why that's how we actually help to maintain the privacy.
But you say that you have to meet the client first, right? So I guess that you will meet the client, but you're not the one investigating the so-called target, right?
Typically, I will meet with the client. Somebody on my staff can meet with the client. The actual people doing the job will not know who is the client, except, let's say, I'm also on the ground with my man, then of course I'm the only one who will know about the client.
But this means that in a space where trust is everything, right? So how do you build credibility with someone, right, who is meeting with you for the first time?
I think sincerity is very important. When clients see that we are truly there to help them, they put their trust in us. I think PI work is really about helping people. Whether it is to get the truth or to get evidence, we help people get out of a difficult situation and into a better position than they were before. Currently, we are 8 full-time investigators. So in the midterm, I would like us to grow to a size of 15 to 20 full-time investigators.
Wow.
And competency-wise, I want to expand to have more of my investigators trained in open source intelligence research as well as the cyber investigations.
How has AI changed the way you all conduct the work?
So for our industry, we have used AI to help us reduce the time in finding information, in summarizing information and generating reports. Still not as comprehensive as we would like it to be, despite AI growing exponentially. And at the user level, we have been this year we have started to explore using agentic AI to streamline our research and some of our business processes. It's a lot of work to do, a lot of learning to do. But we have started to do that already.
Finally, we would like to end off with a round of quick fire questions. What's your favorite way to decompress after a day?
Family time.
Your favorite song to listen to?
YouTube jazz.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Gut feeling or hard evidence?
Hard evidence.
One quote or advice from anyone that has helped you immensely?
Be determined and brave.
Harder case, corporate fraud or relationship disputes?
Relationship.
Oh.
Most common place you have caught adultery happening?
Hotels.
3 words to describe the life of a private investigator.
It's fun, it's challenging, and it's also tiring.
We have really learned a lot from you today. And of course, you're a very busy person. But to close off the episode, right, can you let our audience know where they can find you on social media or how they can reach out to you for your services?
Okay, we are quite active on TikTok under the handle Ranger Investigation. And we are also on Instagram and YouTube with the same handle.
So I think that closes off our episode. Thank you, Yong Yi, for your time. And all the best to you and your business.
Sure, thank you. It's been a pleasure.